Helps if I'm unmuted. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am Tom Connors. The chat is goofy and wonky, kids. Sorry about that. That usually means that YouTube is messing with shit. I see we lost like 30 people right after we went live. That's also cool. I want to thank everybody for being here. We got a full panel tonight. So glad to have with us some regulars and returning regulars, I guess you could call that as well. We have with us Culture Casino to my left. How you doing, son?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. I am very happy to be here. This seems like it was just an hour or so ago. I was hanging out with you somewhere else.
Yeah, we were on your channel.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It's a lot of fun.
And then we have next to him, Script Doctor. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Also, right below me is Diego, who you may see often over on Midnight's Edge Espanol, and he has dropped in from time to time here as well. How you doing, Diego?
Fine, thank you. How's the chat doing? How's everybody doing? Hope fine.
Hopefully they are doing very well. And Xenomorph is now a member. Thank you so much. I can't see the chat to see what kind of member, so I'm going to give you just, let's see.
Minimum effort puppy.
Okay, there we go. Minimum effort puppy. Awesome.
And Tom, I did use up my member chat, to which I said the very important statement, Congo bitch.
Okay, well, I can't see it, so thank you for letting me know that. So yeah, since the chat is all wonky, I can't bring it up right now, so all I can see it is in StreamYards, and StreamYards does not carry over the member chats. That voice, of course, you heard is one of my partners in crime, Mr. Jesse Miller. How you doing, Jesse?
Hey, yo. Same as every day. It's all good. Let's talk about some stuff, because something actually happened.
And thank you for also being a member, although you are a client and on the board.
Yes, just like the hair club guy.
Just like the hair club guy.
He's committed.
He is. And speaking of committed, somebody we generally feel needs committing, but we will never do that to him because we love him too much. Mike, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Great to be back. Sorry I missed the show the other day, but I'm here. Let's do this.
That's all right. You're making up for it tonight. You're being super producer because I'm dealing with like a dozen things in the background. So, yeah, thank you so much, Mike, for handling a lot of the setting up of the stream tonight and getting everything in order. If it wasn't for you, we would not have a show tonight, kids. So, there you go. So, yes, I want to thank all of our guests. And, of course, I want to thank our lovely chat for being here, too. We got everybody from Lindsay hanging out in the chat. We got Bucky Cat. We got Night Raven. We got Scribe Light. How you doing, brother?
Scribe's here. Awesome.
We have Warwolf hanging out here. We have Alec Campbell, and we have Silver Shroud. We have Taz Manta. We have Dobbin. And let's see who else we got. We got Dragon Master 360. Thank you for being here. We got G-Dog. We got DS Ford. We got Sailor Sonic here as well. Sander Hammerschlag is hanging in there. We got Etienne Falador. And we are Falardo. There we go. Sharon. We have here Sharon. Far Out Cast is here as well as so many more like Chef Nation. Thank you for being here, Mr. Plague Doctor, Eagle Fang for life, Andrew 46 and 2, and of course Xenomorph for being a member as well. And Runner was in the chat. I saw that earlier too.
Yeah, Metal Runner.
But he's metal now. He's no longer metal. That's not going to help, Runner. It's not going to get you more pussy. I'm just saying.
You got to have a battle jacket to get pussy. Or none. It's one or the other.
Listen to Jesse. He'll help you. Spider Unlimited says, can't believe that YouTube allowed the thumbnail of a giant cornhole puckering up. LOL. Yeah, right.
That's their favorite thing. That goes right past us.
Is it just me? It's like the worms look like a cock with an asshole on the end. That's very true. You're not wrong.
Talk about something you don't want to get fucked by.
Exactly, especially with teeth. Deranged Lunatic sends me a sticker. I bet you it's either a pooper sticker or a smiley face of some type, but I'm going to go with
it's kind of a pooper sticker with the smiley face.
It's a smiley pooper sticker.
And I just like to note that Metal Runner says, fuck you, Tom.
Of course he does. and to that I say, shut up, Runner. Steven... AKA Deleted Scene sends in $5. Thank you, buddy. It says, hail panel in chat. I'm at Rick. Let me start that over again. I'm at Rift Track's Fathom event. Oh, cool. We'll catch the replay. Overjoyed to hear that Dune Part 2 is a go. Yeah, way to bury our lead. No, I'm just kidding. That's been like taking over the fucking internet all afternoon.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you for that, Steven. I don't know what you're seeing, but hopefully you enjoy it with the Riff Tracks crew there. We also have Monkey Jeebus in the chat. We got Snowed Up. How you doing? We got Queen Elizabeth. It's great to have royalty in the house. We got Gordy Brooks here as well. Thank you for being here. Brett Sanders. DS4, John Riker is here as well. Darth Haster. Let's see here. I know I had another super chat pop up in here somewhere. Where'd it go? At least the chat is seemingly working on this. And okay, I could have swore we had another super chat, but I guess we didn't. That appears to be the last one. So we also have Jurassic Fantastic, and I just wanted to say that because I wanted to say that name. So I'm going to say it again. Jurassic Fantastic.
Jurassic Fantastic.
Looky what we got here. We have Tug in the house. How you doing, brother?
He just did an epic stream on some, Elon Musk stuff he was covering over there today. I caught about the last quarter to half of that. It was very good. He does a lot of good in-depth reporting if you're trying to keep up with the AH and DP stuff and Elon's involvement. He does that.
Well, sadly, I didn't know he was streaming, or I would have listened to it while I've been editing all day. But maybe I can go back.
There's a lot of internet aids to keep track of.
Yes. So thank you for being here, Tug. We appreciate that. Check out that Umbrella Guys channel if you haven't already. Let's see here now. We've got some big news to start things off, like this $20 super chat from DS Ford, who says, "Hail, gents. Have a drink on me, except for Jesse. Quentin Tarantino
the last time?
Yeah, because he didn't like Quentin Tarantino or whatever last time.
He's made a couple of good movies.
I think it was the whole Kill Bill thing that really pissed him off.
But the Kill Bill was there. So
yeah.
You're not going to win. And I don't do coke, so it's not for me.
Even if you don't. Oh, awesome! Glad to have you here.
Say no more.
Well, speaking of Dune updates for Tug, we had heard earlier today that Legendary announced on Twitter and Instagram and all kinds of other places that we're finally getting to see Dune 2. And we're not going to see it, though, until when, guys? Does somebody have the story handy here?
October 2023.
So 2 whole years.
Yeah, October
20th, you know what? That's doable.
2023.
That's a lot better than what I thought it was, because when I came out of the theater, I went to see it I saw it Saturday night, and I went with Stone Loki, who I'm with, and with Nick in Dallas. And I walked out and I said, man, they better not make me wait 4 to 5 years for this sucker for part 2. So I'm okay with 2 years. 2 years is great.
The only thing I really have to say about a 2-year wait on a Dune sequel is that I hope Paul doesn't get too jacked where he doesn't look right compared to the first one.
Well, there is a time gap, and we speculated.
Yeah, the time gap makes sense. That's okay.
Well, we speculated on the Tuesday tirade with myself, Tom, Andre, and Ryan that Villeneuve is a forward-thinking director, so he probably shot a lot of scenes in advance for things that weren't part of what the time jump's going to be. So if it's any flashbacks, any scenes that were probably shot after where it ended, the film ends abruptly.
If they did that, could they use that as a montage to start the film to show that time has elapsed, and then get a little bit of him and the girl?
I'm thinking we'll get a Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future 3 type of thing going on with this. Yeah. That's what I suspect.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I mean, as the story broke, I couldn't believe it. It broke like wide, and everywhere. Tom mentioned on the show today. It was everywhere instantly. It was incredible. So, I have to tell you, I'm very, very stoked about the second part coming out. I was one of the people who really loved the film. Now that I'm working on my third time through it at the moment, do see it in the. Do see it in the largest format you can, if you can. Some people have enormous projection in their own home. That's great. But if you can see it on an IMAX screen, even better, especially one with a good sound system. I'm pretty stoked. I think this is something we all needed. And again, I mean, you had a pretty decent representation of the book on the screen, at least for the first part. I can't wait for the second part.
Could I ask all you guys a general question?
Sure.
Now, I'm not that down on Star Wars stuff this day. We all know this. But did Paul give anyone else kind of a Luke Skywalker vibe at certain points of this film?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But Luke is kind of loosely based on characters like Paul, so that's not surprising.
Yeah, see the big difference being Luke had nothing and Paul was a prince, so it's hard to make the.
But then he
Yeah.
has everything taken away from him, yeah.
Farm Boy and Prince are very different upbringings.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
You could tell that by how he just. Never mind, I won't ruin anything.
Yeah.
Okay, don't
To me, I'm-
spoil it for people.
To me, I was talking more about just like the weight of his destiny and stuff like that. You know, those kind of things. I see the parallels, but
Yeah, because he had that reluctant hero's journey. Because it was like with him, it was very weird. Because he's reluctant to be on his own. He's not reluctant to go fight. He wanted to go fight.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's
He
very
wanted
loyal
it.
to his friends like Luke. Yeah,
And his dad.
Well,
That's. The
I was
big
gonna say,
difference.
there's a 12-year gap because the first Dune book comes out in 65 and Star Wars comes out in 77. So,
Oh,
so
yeah.
most likely Lucas might have actually read Dune and it gave him at least, like the
oh, it's
archetype.
clearly they got some inspiration. Like,
If not,
got some
if he read
desert
Dune,
vibes.
he definitely knew enough about it.
Mhm.
'Cause-
But still, it's very different at the same time because as Jesse's mentioning, the fact that like how Paul is more willing to go into the fray just to show you how different of a society is between where Luke grows up against what Paul grows up in, because he grows up in a world where it's a feudalistic system, it's brutal, and every single day you could die. That's the
Yeah.
difference, really.
Comrade Roof Korean the base says, want to thank you creators, all of you. Was just getting into RLM when I found you all. You provide way more information and intellectual conversation. Well, thank you so much, Comrade
Appreciate
Roof Korean the base. Yeah, I love RLM, but sometimes they can get a little snobby. Sometimes they're a little bit like they have their fingers a little too far from the pulse sometimes, but then other times you can tell one or two of them kind of know what's going on and what's up. But sometimes they just say stupid shit and their reviews just make little sense to me. But that's not too often. I usually agree with them, but we're glad you found us. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Then we had Lord Kamina, who says, some people call me the Spice Cowboy. Some call me the Freeman of Love. Some call me Muad'Dib.
Because I speak with the voice.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
The voice was good in this. I thought they did a great job representing the voice.
Oh yeah, because I don't know. Can we talk about this movie freely or not?
Just about.
Like not story elements, but I think maybe more like things that happen that don't tell the story. It's more like abilities.
What I like gives away the scene.
Yeah,
dude, and Tug's right, man. The visions that he takes away, they don't quite work out like the way he sees them, but they kind of work out, and it's really cool. He doesn't fully have control of his power, and you're about to see this in the second part, like all of that come together. I can't wait for the second.
I love that so much because it was like so much more uncontrolled and natural and real to me.
Yeah.
Bill Galactica is now a member at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you so much for that.
Welcome to the cult, sir.
That is right. And then John Apocalypse says, is Dune 2 announcement similar to Cruella? No. And we're going to get into that here in just a moment. Because actually, I'm glad they waited till now to do this because this makes it more real, right? Like if they, like when everybody was taking Ann Sarnoff's little quote from that Variety piece from last week, as you know, Dune 2 was coming.
Yeah,
I was like, no. That was just kind of like some mixing of words there. And if they had announced it, then I'd have been like, this is just to drive up the box office. Now that we're after that first weekend box office, this is official. This means that Legendary's serious.
Yeah, they're in it.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I would not equate this with like a Cruella situation in the least, because this movie is doing pretty well. So, like Culture, I'm assuming you're the one who's got this up here.
Yeah, this is me.
I'm going to grab this last super chat from Professor Gray, and then I'm going to let you read this so we kind of get a overview of what the hell's going on. And also want to thank that Umbrella guy for becoming a member as well, real quick. He is a
Minimum effort
Minimum
puppy.
effort.
Another minimum. You guys just love that. I think you guys just like the video.
I love the clip. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. That's a cute puppy.
He's like, why do you make me do this?
And I just gotta tell everybody, if you join the cult and we ever make you Kool-Aid and cookies, it will be the best goddamn Kool-Aid.
That's right.
cookies
And then
you've
Professor
ever
Gray said $2. The effects to make the sandworms blew my mind. You know, I have not watched any behind the scenes stuff yet on that. Really, I should check it out.
had. You know what I
'Cause,
loved was
I
the
bet you it's kind of
thumper.
neat.
The
Yeah.
thumper was so simplistic, yet that's exactly how you should design it.
Thank you, Tug. Love you, brother. So, all right, Culture. Thank you so much for pulling this up here. Why don't you take us through this really quick? Thank you.
Dune Part 2 is official. Denis Villeneuve's sequel set at Warner Brothers with theatrical release. After much anticipation, Denis Villeneuve will at last get to finish his two-part adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel. Here we go. He will finally get to fulfill his two-part adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel Dune following an opening weekend at the box office of $41 million plus stateside. Legendary Entertainment has officially given the green light to Dune Part 2. That's great news for fans of the first film, which opened on October 22nd, because it begins with the title card, Dune Part 1. And it also ends in a cliffhanger as Paul Atreides joins the Fremen at the film's end to bring peace to the desert planet of Arrakis. Warner Brothers will release Dune Part 2 in theaters October 20th, 2023. Per Deadline, we understand that the key point of negotiations between Legendary and Warner Brothers was that Part 2 of this cinema spectacle would be given a pure theatrical window. No day and date HBO Max release plans are in the mix. Thank you, Lord. Globally, Dune has earned $220 million plus and counting at the box office. Warner Brothers was waiting to see how well the film performed at the box office and on Warner Media-owned HBO Max before giving it the official go to the director, Villeneuve, who already is well at work on the script for Part 2. So there you are.
Oh God, the editor on this article is terrible. He keeps on interchanging the numbers from numbers to words.
Yeah, I'm not reading well either. Blame.
No, you're reading it acceptable. It's just like they spelled 2 and then they put the number 2 later on. It's like you don't do that.
Fine.
The editor to me is upset.
I know. Script. You're a writer. I get it. I just received news from Legendary that we are officially moving forward with Dune Part 2. Villeneuve said in a statement. It was a dream of mine to adapt Frank Herbert's Dune, and I have the fans, the cast and crew, Legendary and Warner Brothers to thank for supporting this dream. This is only the beginning. Toby Eberich, chairman of Warner Brothers Pictures, added, Denis Villeneuve has crafted a film that is both visually extraordinary and emotionally transporting, as evidenced by its global success. But I put the both in there. I got to stop doing this. Evidenced by its global success, both critically and at the box office. We are thrilled to continue on this journey with Denis and his cast and crew and our partners at Legendary. Man, that is a buttload of ands, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah, I know. I'm freaking out over here.
With Denis.
He doesn't know how commas work.
No more and then.
It's not only that, it's just...
And his cast and crew and our partners at Legendary, and can't wait to bring the next chapter of this epic table to. I can't even.
Toby Emmerich can't speak.
All right, here, let me do it. Let me do it for you from a country standpoint.
All right.
We are thrilled to continue on this journey with Denny and his cast and crew and our partners at Legendary, and can't wait to bring the next chapter of this epic tale to theaters in October 2023.
I love reading, and I am doing a very bad job. Thank you, Mike, for taking over.
No, you're not. He's missing 3 commas in a row.
Yeah, you don't do and like that. That's called comma. It's called punctuation, bitch.
Dude, first year of college.
You work for IndieWire, not the fucking Mary Sue. Come on.
Well, this is a quote from Toby Emmerich, so Toby Emmerich is clearly not thinking before he speaks.
Well, yeah, can't they usually like sync it up? Sync, what's the word I'm looking for?
They can paraphrase. They can use the square.
They usually have an editor that should know this shit.
All right, moving along. Let's move along. Culture, you or me?
If you want to do that Southern drawl.
Still, throughout the film's long-running press tour, beginning while the film was in post-production during lockdown and continuing through the film's world premiere at the Venice Film Festival, Villeneuve remained confident he would get the chance to make Part 2. As the director told Total Film magazine, there's no such thing as Dune 1 and Dune 2. It's Dune, Part 1 and Dune, Part 2. Villeneuve said that he only agreed to direct Herbert's novel for Warner Brothers and Legendary if they let him split the book into 2 parts. It would have to take a total box office disaster for Part 2 not to get made. Earlier this week, Warner Brothers CEO and Sarnoff all but confirmed the sequel was happening. We have been hearing in the past few decades that it's not possible to adapt that book and that it's an impossible task. I think that in the back of the mind of the studio, it's still the same. I don't even know what that means. Villeneuve recently told Total Film.
It means they still don't believe and they suck.
The first thing was to prove that there was a beautiful, popular movie that can exist. And I think that I proved that. Everybody at Warner Brothers and Legendary, they are 100% behind the project. They feel that it would need a really bad outcome at the box office to not have a Dune Part 2 because they love the movie. They are proud of the movie, so they want the movie to move forward. And they still did half of it. So, I'm very optimistic.
You know what? I like this movie so much. I do not like Dave Bautista one bit, and I quite enjoyed him in this movie.
Yeah, he was in 3 scenes for all of 2.5 minutes.
His beheadings were excellent. He was enjoying himself.
But that's the beast of Raban.
Yeah.
Literally, that's why he's the beast.
Since the heart of this has to do with what happened with the box office, maybe, we've got some super chats. Let's knock those out real quick here. Let's see here. Is Tom there, or do you?
Yeah, I think we got most of them already.
You just got one.
Okay, we just got one. Okay, I was going to say, whoop. Go ahead, Mike.
Just imagine the God Emperor.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the friggin' Emperor in this. Are they ever going to show him, or is that never shown?
Well, I would think he's got to come into the story at some point. He just wasn't as important to this first part. Like, there's certain characters I can understand why they didn't either show or bring in yet because they'd be getting less screen time probably than Zendaya.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and no one can sell me on Zendaya as an actress. No one.
She was serviceable at best so far. That's all I can say. I have to see her in the rest.
I think
if they made like 100%, she has to earn it herself.
No. I think if they made a Mannequin 3, they would cast her.
Yeah.
You know who she would have been perfect for? She should have been in Star Wars. She should have played Geode.
I'm sure that's a Rock joke, but I'm not sure.
The chick is like lifeless as F. All right, well, let's talk about the box office then, since that was the kind of. I mean, I think it's clearly said until.
We do have one other super chat here from Faro Cast who said Legendary told Warner to keep it in their pants for a while.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Well, I think they're also arguing in the background too.
That, for real.
Somebody wrote somebody a check. You guys did a great video on this that dropped less than 2 hours ago now.
Not even.
And I mean, I 1000% believe that there was lots of stuff going on in the background, including an exchange of funds, because if you think about it,
well, we know there was like a $200 or $200 million check written for Dune and Godzilla versus Kong, I believe,
and they had to because Legendary, they fronted 75% of this film's financing. So Warner only did the balance, the 25%. So there you go.
Culture, they did more. They about 85.
Really? Because the numbers reported were 75-25.
No, it seems confirmed was 85 Legendary.
Oh wow, even more.
They pretty much just paid for the movie, and then Warner Brothers fronted up the basic the foundation for advertisement.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
that's why they were pissed off when Warner did the whole day and date.
Yeah,
they basically pulled a Qui-Gon Jinn on the motherfuckers.
Basically.
You all had to sit there and remember the bet that was made and how Qui-Gon Jinn just basically screwed Watto into doing everything and losing everything in the end. And Qui-Gon Jinn didn't do jack squat, period.
Yeah, he put up a pod he didn't even own.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn did nothing wrong.
He couldn't use.
I'm not saying that, but in this case,
it was all about the game.
Yeah, what I'm just saying. In this
it's
game,
for real. He could not use the mind trick. It was the game. He was better at the game than the pawnbroker.
No, I know. Like the whole deal is,
Fuck
like I said, I'm not saying that Qui-Gon was wrong, but like that's what Warner Brothers basically did to Legendary. Is what my point was. Anyway, the joke was lost now.
Yes.
Dab the Great says, anyone concerned by the 2-year production time? No, that's normal.
No,
I'm just glad they're getting it in order now and not that much later, because I was assuming it was going to be 3 years.
I mean, it would be a minimum of 2 years to do this movie, the follow up to this film, anyway. So
we're probably lucky that everybody's schedule's been opened up because of the shutdowns. But now, Mike, you were going to say about the box office.
True, dog.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. I mean, this is perfect because I think what we do when we look at the success with the success of being able to get Dune 2, we got to look at two things. We've got to look at the Sama data. We've got to look at whatever we can get out of Roku, and we, in terms of who watched it at home, and we've got to take a look at what the actual box office was. And I think it's absolutely on point, and it proves that movie theaters aren't dead by the fact that Dune 2 has to have a theatrical release, because they are not going to leave cash on the table. You can get all the views you want all day and night, but see, the view count helps a company like Disney more directly because they're marketing their whole Disney Plus thing, and it's really tied to the value of their stock price. That's not the case for someone like something like this. This is about cash, and cash is the theater, and theater is where they're leaving the money on the table.
Now, Mikey, do you think they'll be able to use the difference between Halloween Kills and Scream, whatever number this is, to try to prove that case? Because Scream is going to be theatrical.
I think this movie is in a different type of class of itself. I think this movie has to be looked at blockbuster to blockbuster, meaning
yeah, exactly. But if you look at horror to horror as a ratio, then you apply that ratio to a blockbuster feature.
The better comparison might be with the first Halloween film, Jesse, because how well that one fared, and then how this one's not going to in comparison, because mainly the lockdowns and the fact that it was on Peacock. Right.
Yeah, still, people could have seen that first one and not liked it. Scream is a fresh control factor.
True, to a point, but that last one didn't do that well.
Yeah.
It did okay, but at best okay.
Yeah.
Zontar says Dune 3 will come out before Indiana Jones 5. You might not be wrong, especially if they film 2 and 3 back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and they should, and they
might go head to head.
Yeah, they might. We made an argument for that today when we were talking about it. They really should do it, shoot 2 and 3 simultaneously, or in consecutive order.
When are we going to get to see more houses? What number would that naturally occur?
I think that's the.
It's the problem is
that's the Children of Doom is when you start seeing more houses. I think.
Yeah, and they're not as big. Like after Paul wins in the books, it's basically always be the Atreides. It's in the center of everything, so it doesn't really change. You don't see that much dynamic in the conspiracies as before. You do see
people come to Arrakis. Not many people leave outside of it in some of the follow-ups. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now if all these other houses are smaller, are they cordial with them, or are they diplomatic, or are they more like, we're going to just take everything?
Basically, they're more like, yes, sir, please hit me more.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah, that's basically that. The problem, this is a bit of contextualization for the universe, but you got to understand that basically there's only 3 major houses aside from the Bene Gesserits and the guilds, or the Navigator guilds, that actually control the galaxy. The Atreides, the Harkonnens, and House Carino, which are the Imperial family. None of the other houses really have a prominence because this goes to the books that were written by Frank Herbert's son, Brian, which is actually the prequel to the whole thing.
I know what I'm looking for backstory on later.
Well, the other houses were behind Atreides. I mean, they were growing in favor amongst the other houses.
In support of him, yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you see the whole story, the Atreides, the Harkonnens, and the Carinos are the most important people in the entire history, from the Butlerian Jihad till the Dune novels. So that's why those houses are the important ones, and everybody else is like, unimportant players. They switch sides quickly.
Yeah, and I think Lady Jessica is a child of the Harkonnens, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, I'm gonna jump on this comment that Warwolf made a little bit here, where he says a 2-year production is odd when you consider Godzilla vs. Kong was filmed the year after they wrapped on Godzilla King of the Monsters. Warwolf, I don't think so, because we're talking about two different and script. Correct me if you disagree, because culture, Diego, anybody, Jesse. But see, the thing is with the Godzilla movies, you're basically talking fewer characters and a whole lot of CGI, a whole lot of green screen, and really it's a whole lot of post-production work.
My question with this one is, were they actually planning this yet after that last one?
Well, Jesse, let me finish. But so the thing is, with this one, we've just got to finish some filming, and you've got CGI, but you've also got a lot of practical effects. 2 years is about as fast as I think we could actually get this thing done. If you reverse engineer, that's got to get in the can and marketed basically 18 months from now.
We don't know how much they actually shot during the initial production, how much of that footage could be carried over for the part 2, and then there's the actual filming of part 2 and any additional set construction, which I don't think will be too much because they used a lot. They already built a lot beforehand. Mm-hmm. Because it is a bit more of a conflict battle situation ready, and a lot of it happens on the surface of Arrakis, which doesn't really require a whole lot of new construction. But a lot of choreography and a lot of
symmetry. Desert you want to go on vacation to?
Yeah, pretty much. There's going to be there's definitely a lot of areas where they can trim down production without sacrificing any safety or any quality because of just the pace and the type of story that they should be telling for the part 2. So I don't see 2 years. I think 2 years is going to be the earliest. I'm pretty sure they'll probably push it back to a Christmas release, tentatively, just so that they get that extra time. But I think it's going to be. I think 2 years is very feasible.
And Michael Gonzalez for $5. Tom, are you back? No, Michael Gonzalez for $5 says with the go ahead.
I'm here.
Oh, I didn't know if you were here or not, so I just.
I'm here. I was just taking a nap.
Oh, I'm just working on the same damn computer.
Okay, with the go ahead and earnings, can you model, project, predict Warner Brothers practices for future movies, and does it follow with past films since pandemic? Ooh, what do you guys think about that?
Well, every film post-pandemic announcement, so to speak, will contribute to a future model for other features. For this one here, I think, right now, I think the studio system is kind of finally willing to say, hey, we can still make $100 million movies and $150 million movies, but we don't necessarily have to go to $200 million movies. And I think it's going to be a slow and steady decline, and I don't think it's ever going to drop below $125 million for budget of films as the years go on, especially with day-and-date releases or 45-day theatrical windows.
Well, for these kind of movies, as we've said before, and I say time and time again, the whole fiasco with Deadpool kind of proved that you cannot really make these movies below $100 million. Like when you have a level of the type of action and CGI that you're doing, and even one of those lower level movies like Deadpool, you can't, because they tried to claim it only cost them $80 million, and then they turned around and got sued because they overworked all their CGI animators. So like,
damn, that sucks.
Yeah, so they ended up spending back out more than what it would have cost them if they had just probably paid them in the first place. So again, that's where it kind of puts it at this level of, yeah, you're right, like that 100 to 120 million depending on the level, and that's where I believe Dune is sitting right at 130. When Ansarnoff said that sounds about right to me. Even with some tax credits.
That's cool though, because this one still seems like it's a slow burn moneymaker to me. As long as they leave it in there, I think people will see it.
Hey, Tom, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while. I hear you've been off filming and doing some fun stuff, though. So hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Oh yeah, we had a conversation yesterday. He's looking forward to hanging out with you, with all of us again.
Great, can't wait. And then we also got a super chat from the Invisible Man, but I couldn't see him. I am stoked. We are getting more Dune. To this point, the franchise is unspoiled. It's fresh and it's so freaking good. Score and all. Suck it, score haters. Well, I'm one of those score
all
haters.
Right. Look, I know a lot about music. All right, now this song that they used in this movie weren't really songs, and they weren't really that melodic. Some of them were, like the attack song with the guitar. That was more of an actual piece of music, but most of it was ambiotic music. It was background music, and it was mirrored perfectly with the movie, and it worked well. But if I was going to add one score to this movie as far as actual tunes go, it would be a movie completely scored by the great Pantera. Because during the killings of everyone, I would have liked to have heard Primal Concrete Sledge.
Well, I almost was an asshole to Hans Zimmer today, but I didn't feel like getting into a Twitter fight. I did not post that. I almost did.
What music?
Well, this is something with Pablo we talked about. Like we said, there's really no music. What we see here is sound engineering. It's basically everything about the sound design is for the purpose of the scenes of the movie, setting the movie, setting the ambiance, and it's basically that. It's not really music. There's no music at all. It's just
it almost goes into
scenes.
that jerk avant-garde territory.
Okay,
it's like any melody, no matter how complex it is, you're supposed to be able to break that down into its 3 key notes that creates the melody. So you could claim that ambient music is a song, but it's still bullshit.
Okay, Culture, you're about to say something. Go ahead.
No, the only thing I want to say to that is this: there is no theme in this. There is no there. You can't find one.
It's more like a lack of themes.
Yeah,
well, I mean, you're talking about melodies to hum, right?
Yeah, there's
a point, yes, but I'm also talking about you don't have to have a traditional score. I get that, but there are certain key scenes in this movie that did need something close to it, and they lacked it. And I feel like that's where some people, not all, some people are like, it doesn't have any heart, it doesn't have any soul, but. Comrade Roof Korean, the bass asks, "Can you go over how good the streaming numbers were?" In fact, I think we're about to get there actually. Yeah. So thank you for that. That's a perfect segue, and we appreciate the donation. I also see 32 flavors of Nick Weiser in the chat as well. Hale, how you doing? And a few others have come in since we first started, like Goddess of Whim and so on. So thank you for being here. And did we get the first Werewolf one too? By the way, because I saw it was.
Oh no, this is a new one. Yeah,
this is a new one. But did we did get the first one though? Right?
Yeah, we got the second one. Yeah.
Did we get this one too though?
Yes.
Yes, we got that one.
Yeah, but we didn't get the one that you were just on.
I'm just making sure. But we also had 32 flavors of Nick Weiser sends in 5 and says to keep the lights on. Thank you so much, Nick. And then Warwolf sent in another super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. It says Godzilla vs. Kong was supposed to come out in 2020, and King of the Monsters came out in 2019. Though remember, okay, yeah, you guys were discussing earlier about how, but see that movie got all fucked up early on because of there's 2 reasons. See, that movie went into reshoots and got delayed before the whole pandemic thing. Right. Yes. We did a report on that back then because that was after King of Monsters didn't do as well as they were hoping, but they noticed, and clearly, I don't know this for a fact, but just from what we've noticed, is that obviously kids were the key demographic here. We need to switch gears. And that's what they did for Godzilla vs. Kong. So that is why they had the first delay. Then the pandemic happened. So then the movie got delayed even more. So the initial point, though, was... let's see here. What was it?
Had there not been a pandemic, it still would have come out in 2020, but probably closer towards this time of the year, 2020.
Yeah, I think it was still scheduled to come out in 2021, no matter what, if I remember right. But I know there was a big hoopla deal because Warner's deal ended in 2020, but I think they got whatever clearance they needed to get.
Then we had Toho?
Yeah, from Toho. Yeah.
All I know is if Godzilla wants to keep me invested, they're going to have to go full bore stupid with the next one.
Honestly, I'm not even 100% sure we'll see another Godzilla movie for a while.
Well, they're trying.
Oh, there will always be another Godzilla movie.
At least not in this universe. I think they're going to do some Kong stuff for a while.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dab the Great says the theme is the war drum sound effect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when I saw that guy walk out with his bagpipe and he did not play the Green Hills of Tyrol, I was very disappointed.
Yes, except that, okay, so it started out like we were going to get a theme from the bagpipe thing, and it descended into madness, like almost immediately.
Yeah.
It's because it's not supposed to be a theme. It's supposed to be the anthem of the House of the Atreides.
Okay.
That's it. It's not supposed to be that, Also, again, this is something Pablo mentioned, and it's a bit complicated to explain it, but what he noticed was that the music Zimmer did used a very basic primal pattern for the drumming. It was the thing that was present in the entire movie, and he matched it with the drumming that's exactly the same as they do in ayahuasca rituals, and it's also the same drumming that you have as a heartbeat when you're a fetus inside your mom.
Yeah, it's called.
That's
That's
some
the thing
primal
I'm
shit right there. That's excellent commentary. I did not know that they use that beat in ayahuasca rituals.
Pablo's gonna do a video in English actually for Geek Tropology. He's actually gonna go in detail, Jesse. So once it gets, I'm gonna send it to you.
Are you trying to see Clockwork Elves? Because that's how you see Clockwork Elves.
I'll ask him.
What?
Wow.
Jesse, why would you know that? Why would you even know that if you had ayahuasca?
Because it's supposed to be beings that exist on another dimension.
But why would you know
within
that?
our reality?
Because he gets into all that.
And at
kind of
that
stuff.
point, you're
Because people
disconnected
talk
from
about
your
it here.
physical being long enough where you could see them temporarily.
Jesse, you put that ayahuasca pipe down right now.
You have to drink it. You have to drink it.
You put that glass of ayahuasca
I can't
nectar
get
down right
it.
now.
The shaman has to give it to you.
Yeah, Tom, take the glass back, Tom. Tom's the shaman.
Mike, please respect my tradition. My people do this.
Oh, what was that? What was that? Diego?
No, then the ayahuasca is something we do in Peru. Like not me, but people who want to have a spiritual journey, they actually go to the jungle. They go with shaman. A shaman prepares them for weeks before they do the ritual. You can't just go and drink it.
Yeah,
If you
but
drink
that's-
Oh,
it,
hell no.
You're like-
Hell
you're
no.
like-
You lose
you're
your
like-
mind.
Dude, Diego, you're in Peru. Jesse's in Connecticut. He can't do that there.
Jesse will go to Peru.
It was
Oh!
no, I don't have enough vacation weeks to take off long enough for the prep on this journey. This is like the most hardcore thing. It's a real actual
He
religious
didn't say
thing.
no. He just said he didn't have the
Wait,
vacation time.
is
No.
Culture drinking the
Is that-
ayahuasca?
oh, I would
now?
do it if I had time.
yes, we all drinking it, Mike.
Culture's
That's how you
drinking
watch Dune.
ayahuasca.
Pass me that lizard horn. I'll down that shit.
Jesse's the kind of guy is like, how many are you supposed to take? One. Okay, give me two.
Yep. We're making a double, Mr. Shaman.
Oh man.
Stargate 404
I
says
got one
with
chance at
$5.
this. Let's go meet God.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just make
I
sure
was
I go
here-
back.
I was here yesterday, here today. Look like it ain't hypothetical anymore. Saw it a second time last night, and I'll have to watch it a third this weekend. Well, awesome, Stargate. I've been getting the hankering to go see it in 3D. There's a couple places
What?
that are actually showing it in 3D.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then maybe experiencing it in IMAX at some point as well. So who knows?
The ornithopters were so cool.
But we got to get to these numbers here right after Warwolf says Godzilla vs. Kong is coming. Oh, 2 is coming. Space Godzilla's in it. I haven't heard nothing about it yet. All I know is last I knew they hadn't quite worked out the kinks yet. But if that's
That's
true, that's news to me. So there you go. What were you saying, Culture?
No, they're a lot of things are on boards right now. Let me just put it that way. So they're in their pre-production elements. But all right, let's do this. This
Numbers.
This is from VIP, Variety's intelligence platform. They actually give this away for free at times. It's really pretty decent in-depth stuff. They give you a lot of infographics and things. Well researched, and the numbers we're going to go through is fairly impressive to me. I don't know about the rest of you, but data: Dune opening weekend, HBO Max viewership topped Justice League and In the Heights. Well, it wouldn't be very hard to top In the Heights, to be honest with you, but anyway. Warner Brothers should be pleased with the domestic streaming performance of its latest day and date film, Dune, which hit U.S. theaters and HBO Max on Thursday. That's suggested by TV analytics firm Samba TV, which exclusively provided data to VIP Plus, showing that Dune was viewed on HBO Max by 1.9 million U.S. households from Thursday to Sunday, a figure higher than the comparable opening weekend HBO Max viewership figures of past notable day and date Warner Brothers films like Zack Snyder's Justice League and In the Heights, which also debuted on Thursdays. The film generated $40 million plus in domestic box office revenue this past weekend, a total that helps Dune account for the biggest domestic opening of a Warner Brothers film in 2021 to date. And these are the infographics. So here they are. Zack Snyder's 1.8 million in U.S. households viewed. In the Heights, 0.7 million. Suicide Squad, 2.8 million. So very good there. And Dune, 1.9 million. Dune during the Thursday to Sunday following.
So wait, did Dune do less than Suicide Squad? Wait, what was Suicide Squad?
Yeah, Suicide Squad did 2.8
because funnily enough, I didn't even know that was coming out this week until I got my Steelbook in the mail today. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
lovely.
So Fun fact: when the Suicide Squad was debuting theatrically, a bunch of regions did their own second or third or fourth lockdown. So a lot of theaters couldn't actually do it. So instead of people driving out to the theaters to see it, they ended up just watching it on HBO Max, and that's why the Suicide Squad only took in about 28 million on that opening weekend.
Yep, that's very true. There were a lot of closures.
So in the end, the movie did a hell of a lot better than the box office showed us.
Well, which is why they're really excited for Peacemaker and why they're really excited to see what's going to happen next with James Gunn and the next Warner Brothers DC related film.
Because I've been hearing some rumblings about a possible Suicide Squad 3. And also I just heard that they're doing Birds of Prey 2. But Margot Robbie isn't involved.
She shouldn't be. She's not a bird of prey.
So they're going to use Drab, and Drabber to headline the movie?
Nobody gives a shit. I don't know. I don't care. And who's that?
Can I at least
Is it just going to be Rosie Perez, like doing some fun accents or something?
Well, that would be great.
Look, Rosie Perez, I don't care how old you are. Your new costume is a micro bikini.
Wow.
Who's next?
All right. I don't know, the hot chick from
got the new Huntress costume. That's just the old.
Yeah, make the Huntress look like a woman again. That'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Look, let me just put it this way. These numbers only represent about half of the actual numbers of consumption digitally via the streaming platform. So this is the numbers that Samba TV collected. They are essentially half of what was actually done because they account for about half of the digital market tracking ability. Roku is pretty much the other half on top of a few other devices. So you can essentially say that 4 million U.S. households watched this film from Thursday to Sunday.
All right, so let's just say on the conservative side, and that's $10 a ticket per person, and that's only one view per person. Because actually, you had families and other people view.
Yeah, it's households.
Well, let's just be conservative here. So that's $40 million that was left on the table right there.
Easily. We said
easily. You said 60 earlier too, but I agree with you. It's probably closer to 60.
I think they left 60 million domestic on the table because that's
$100 million.
Yeah, it is. It would have been the biggest. Would have been the biggest opening in the post-global crisis era.
Let's see. Arturo wants me to read. Hey, Paulie, how you doing? Wants me to read his message. I'm not seeing it here. How long ago was it? Or did I miss it?
The last two chats. So I mean,
that might be tricky because again, the chat is disconnecting us and reconnecting us.
Yeah. I did see one here. Hang on. Where'd it go? Is this one, Tom? Will there be an X-Men movie in the next few years? Well, it's a little off topic, Arturo. But yeah.
The answer is ha.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll want it.
X-Men, or do you want them to just be like some guys?
It's gonna be Marvel's X-Men or Marvel's Mutants, probably is what it'll end up being called.
Or it might be just one of the title characters like Xavier.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 2024 is probably when you'll start when it'll probably drop. Maybe 2025 at the latest.
I bet they'd manage to do an origin story on Professor X without ever mentioning Juggernaut.
They've already announced Fantastic Four, so that clearly is in the pipeline first.
Yeah. What have you heard on that? Just an announcement, or
just an announcement. They haven't said anything else. Supposedly, there was meetings between some people that fans were wanting for the characters, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Man, they need to give up on Fantastic Four like they gave up on Green Lantern. I mean, they just can't get that story right no matter what.
Why can't they though, Mikey? I mean,
Green Lantern,
it's not that complicated, right?
I don't think Jesse, I agree with you completely. I don't think it's that hard. Go back. All you got to do is go to Fantastic Four, read any of the comic books that came out in the first 4 years. The formula is the same. It's easy. The character profiles are easy as hell.
Are related. There you go. That's a lot of story.
You got a brother and sister. Yep. You got two best friends.
All you have to do is make Dr. Doom awesome.
I don't know. It's just
I don't know either. It's frustrating.
I think it's what the thing with Hollywood is sometimes if you serve up something that's too simple to execute well, they'll find a way to screw it up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
There's some other supers that we didn't get to yet. So Dune related.
Dune, I'm just happy about overall.
All right. Well, I'm going to go backwards here real quick.
Sure.
Firecast just sent in $20. Says possible Dune is doing better in China than being reported. China has reason to possibly underreport to keep appearance of competition against the big state. Movies to minimum. Legendary owners.
Thank you.
The actual numbers, and that's the other thing. And you're probably not wrong there. Wanda Group owns Legendary,
They
so
do.
they can easily hide those numbers and be like, "We don't know what money you're fucking talking about."
Not only that, they also own exhibition locations, et cetera, and at best, the only revenue that comes out of China is 25%. 25% of the gross that comes out of China is all you collect as a studio on the other side.
And if you're lucky, actually.
Yeah, if you're lucky. And that's the top end. But also consider this, that right now China is 1/3 of this year's global box office because they had something called Centenary, which I've been talking about now for months. But that is their national holiday celebration for 100 years of Communist Party rule, when they kicked the people down to Taiwan, basically. And they have made all these propaganda films, and the most propaganda of all is the one where they beat back the Americans, which has been holding court in the theaters in China right now with incredible earnings. So
fuck them.
Yeah, just keep that in mind, that the propaganda films are the ones that are getting a lot of view in China, because guess what? You also get a bump in your social credit score. So you have to see
when you go see them. Yeah.
So
you
do
go
they act
see
like Americans and go get the ticket for the CCP movie and then sneak into the American movie?
I don't think you can get away with that with all the monitoring they have going on.
They monitor everything.
Like, none of us watch.
They would probably shoot you for doing that. No.
You
Commandment.
will not see the popular franchise.
No.
Commandment VHS says the music in Dune was forgettable at best and distracting at worst. That's my problem. And somebody would have to literally pay me to buy the soundtrack.
Yeah, the only legit song was the heavy metal song when the bad guys show up there.
Yeah, there's a guitar in there.
But Tom,
that's
you're
only still a
gonna
riff.
Tom, you're gonna buy the 4K of this thing, aren't you?
Yeah, most likely. Hopefully, there's a 3D version too. Like,
if they give me a 4K 3D that I can slap up on my big format.
With all the technology now, you guys trust the home 3D market?
Oh, I have. Oh no, it's done with. But they did release Godzilla versus Kong in 3D, so who knows? Comrade Roof Korean, the base, says, "Is there a metric for streaming rewatches?" I don't know if it follows that or not. I'm assuming this is more about how many views within a time period, right?
Raw. Yeah, it's just raw data. So the household watches it. The household's counted. The overall number of views. This is where. Oh, by the way, this is where Netflix is starting to put their thumb on the scale.
If it was Netflix, it would count, right?
Yeah, exactly. Netflix is putting their thumb on the scale now. They're moving from the 2 minutes watch model to the total hours watch model. To then they're going to start to quote unquote be more transparent with some of their numbers. But the problem is that's going to be deceptive because some series have more episodes than others. The episode lengths are longer than others. So hours watched is going to be pretty deceitful going forward as well.
This is just going to be like that one guy really loves Cobra Kai.
Exactly. And Tom watches like 700 hours of Cobra Kai by himself. So
yeah, exactly.
But it's just, but I honestly,
we should do a wellness visit.
I have all these problems with how these metrics are released. And if I were, an influential investor, my conversations with the board members and everybody else would be, I would like more transparency, please, because I don't know if these platforms that you're dipping billions of dollars into have any payoff date, because they keep getting farther out. Disney's keeps moving farther. The goalpost keeps going farther away for them to become profitable with Disney Plus. I would believe that Warner's platform will get there faster, which is weird. Their front end sucks balls. But so does Disney's, to be honest with you. The best front end is Netflix, and they own all the patents for it. So there's that. Anyway, I'll blather on forever.
Disney profitability off of Disney Plus is one thing, but the point of the matter, but to me, the point of the matter about Disney Plus is it's a stock play. It's tied to the valuation of the stock. So the profitability matters vis-a-vis. I mean, what is the stock price doing with their perceived selling?
But see, your stock. So, but you know this, Mike, is your stock price shouldn't depend on the number of subscribers you have on a streaming service. It's the least significant business division that you have. That's the smallest element of your concern.
Well, it should be, but it's what all the quarterly reports talk about. But you're right about the clock ticking, because here's where the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking because at some point, this whole thing about Disney saying, "Oh, keep our stock propped up because Disney Plus is hitting it and we're getting views and we're releasing all these shows." At some point, the whole issue about not having any dividends declared, let alone issued, meaning paid out, is going to become an issue because no one's going to wait forever.
Yeah, the hugest thing is a wool to think that these are the stocked up prices.
But that's the thing, is all these companies launch these streaming services and herald them as the next great thing. Because, it took over a decade for Netflix to become anywhere close to profitable, right? Mm-hmm. And they were the only game in town for quite a bit of that. When other streaming services, showed up, they just couldn't show the numbers. I mean, Roku's building a streaming business out of their devices, which is actually an avenue that Amazon is pursuing now to expand their thing. For Amazon, it's not a profit center for them to have, give away Prime Video. It's not. It's part of a reason to get Prime, but that's not a profit center for them. And yet these other companies come out there, Disney, Comcast, Universal, all of that. That's why I think the merger for Warner Media and Discovery Plus makes a lot of sense, because you're going to see them take the Discovery Plus model, which will sell you your subscription for $7 a month, and turn around and make $7 more off of you for advertising. So you're making more money with the cheap subscription that still has ads than you are with the full price subscription of HBO Max, which is $15 or whatever. And all of these services are about to go up by 22%. So you do the math. I mean, the ARPU continues to fall across the board as they expand internationally, and the services have to be offered for a less comparable amount. So that drives the overall ARPU down, which Disney is experiencing. There's a lot of problems here. Anyway, I can go on and on with all that stuff.
Just before we change, there's something else we have to add. The fact of the matter is that something that we talked about on the Espanol channel is the fact that Nintendo has, for example, this model where they have their online service where they let you play the old games, right? And now they have an expansion with a 64, which really is an overcosted thing. But what made us think is the fact that what we've noticed is that many of the practices that existed in the video game industry have been applied in the movie industry when they try to monetize the consumer. And most likely is we see this, like this could be a possibility if we don't say something about it, we don't try to fight it, is that they're going to try to break up every single one of their streaming services into compartmentalized systems where you have to pay additional so you can have them. You will have the streaming. You will be able to stream. It's not like you're going to be paying like Disney model $30 per movie. No. You're going to be paying your $30 a year additional, $30 a month additional, let's say, so you can have access to this entire content instead of just having the base. I feel that's going to be what they're going to do to try to make these services profitable if they can't find a way to turn around now. And that's the worry, because if they do that, basically the streaming services become the new cable companies.
Well, they've already become that, and they're
going to become that. Yeah.
Now, what happens when the pirates become the new cable company?
But that's actually what's going to happen too. You're not wrong there, Jesse, and this is why they're trying to lock everything down across everywhere, including the internet. But you're already seeing and Script can actually attest to this because they do it in Canada. You're seeing streaming aggregators that sell you a package of streaming services for less money than if you subscribe to them each individually. So you're starting to see that as well. Mm-hmm. I think they do it in Canada, right?
Yes, they do. It's not even really just the streaming services. They just pick the content from those services that are usually the most popular, and they aggregate it together. Yeah. And if you wanted to get, say, a show that's on the streaming service that's not part of that package, you would then have to pay, sign up for the actual streaming service. So it's usually to your benefit just to get the package. And it is a very broad package.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what's going to happen. Your internet service provider is probably going to do what your cable service provider does, which is aggregate and give you packages where you have access to those streaming services. And I predict this back in just when they announced Amazon was doing its own stuff. So that was what 7 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah, and this is a conversation. I mean, if you've been paying attention in financial circles, that you're going to see essentially bundlers that'll come up with, okay, you can get HBO Max, you can get you'll get Stars, and you'll get
Discovery Plus.
Yeah, you'll get all these different things, and it's only going to cost you $45 a month. And they bundle together like 7 things. So individually, it costs you like, a lot of money. And yet you get like a, 40% discount by going with their bundle. So, but here's the thing. That's going to look attractive to a lot of these streamers, but it's going to continue to drive down their ARPU. This is the problem with this model. The streaming model doesn't work because you're not going to realize those profits. Not only that, the aggregators will probably be in a better position to tie somebody into a contract. None of these streaming services are going to do that. It's going to be a la carte for you on a month-to-month basis. You don't have to be on.
That's right. The other thing, too, culture, is that one of the things that was a big talk when all the streaming wars started was this perception that they thought, oh, my God, when we release this, people are going to sign up. Now, I myself did actually do HBO Plus because of the Snyder release, not myself. But that was it. That was the only time. And that's only because I'm a hardcore Snyder nut. And I was involved in the campaign personally. Kind of I'm an ultra nerd about that stuff. And
but Mike, you and I both know you could have just signed up for a 7-day free trial and watched it.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Is that I ended up keeping it because I'm on Midnight's Edge and stuff and shows like this. Right. But other than that, I would have bailed.
Yeah.
I would have bailed. And look, frankly, if it wasn't for, I've used my HBO Max Plus thing. I use it for Into the Heights. I use it for, what have I watched on the Godzilla? Of course, I watched the Snyder thing, and then Dune. I started watching it a second time. But I'm going to tell you, I got into about 25 minutes into it on HBO Max, and the experience was so subpar to what I experienced in IMAX
in the theater,
that I just said, you know what? When I get back to South Carolina, I'm just going to go see it down the street again.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and I'm just like I said. I mean, I'm on my third right now. I'm in the midst of my third watch. The larger format's always going to be a superior experience, in my opinion. The theatrical experience is vastly superior to even the best home cinema systems, unless you personally own some kind of giant theater room. It's just not the same, and I don't think it ever will be. Anyway, we have a bunch of super chats.
Yes, we do have a few. Thank you so much for the super chats. Mitchell Tuckness says, just got in. Do we think they will make part 2? Honestly, I like this one, though I think they didn't stress some important aspects. Well, Mitchell, the headline of the day is, yes, Legendary has officially greenlit Dune part 2.
Yeah, done deal.
So we'll get it October 2023. Thank you for the donation. We appreciate that. And then we had next up Primer, who says, fun fact, Blockbuster had an online service and even showed ambitions to compete with Netflix. They instead decided to focus on 100% physical media. Now, I'll tell you something, Primer. I was around when all this crap was going down. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for a fucking steal.
Yep.
And they fucked it up.
Not only did they do that, they didn't invest in their infrastructure for their online renting service, and then they tried to introduce a freaking USB drive rental thing in lieu of like the actual DVD. Just a USB drive you plug into your DVD or Blu-ray player, and then you never have to come back in the store to return the movie. It just times out after so many plays.
Kind of like Divx was.
But here's
it was so dumb.
Yeah, because you walk into Blockbuster, they got 5 walls of the newest thing that sucks, and I can't find the movie I want. So I go down to the mom and pop store to get my damn movie.
A lot of times that could be the case. Now, like I was working at Movie Gallery when all this stuff went down. Now, I guarantee
an actual movie store.
Well, Movie Gallery still, like, they were below Blockbuster, right? like
Hollywood Video.
Yeah, we were the same company.
Yeah.
Same company as Hollywood Video, actually. But eventually, I think one bought the other out. I can't remember which now. But at that time, I swear we were only open as long as we were because Blockbuster kept fucking up trying to compete with Netflix. So that actually gave us a little inroad for a while. But other than that, we were done. I knew it was done. And then when they fucked with me and got me out of there, it's like, yeah, this is all fucking
Imagine
falling
if
apart.
they rearranged things and went back to video stores.
There was some
I
big
would've loved
civil
that.
case though after the fact, though I never took part in, but I probably could have. But thank you for that primer. That brought back a few memories. Vjern,
V'ger, New York City.
V'ger, New York City. Thank you so much for that. I see the V'ger now. Thank you. V'ger. $20 says this happens with any area in tech. You have plethora of companies with the same offering. Eventually, the market matures and most of the players fall out. Streaming and crypto will consolidate around a small set of winners. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. And they're already talking about it inside the industry, like the article that we've referred to a couple times now that Dan Sarnoff was interviewed in. They talk about this directly, and they even talk about being third and whatever situation they're in, and they talk about being competitive in the streaming wars and that they've kind of already at least won their place in them, and they're not wrong. Not like it's posturing or anything like that. Clearly they're having the same conversations inside the industry that we are.
Yeah, and it's and look, they're going to be big six. You just look at it this way: there's going to be six streaming players, and that'll probably be where it all washes out. Crypto, I think anything in the top 25 are going to be the small set of winners. And again, you're 1,000% right. This happens every time with every new tech, every single time. Believe me, I know. I was there when we were changing the internet.
If you want to see a great example with regards for normies to get an appreciation of. Just remember back to the days of the instant messenger apps. You had AOL Instant Messenger, you had ICQ, you had MSN Messenger, you had Dionix messaging. You had all these other messengers, and they all
Yahoo.
Yeah, they all kind of fell away to the side. And then once it became more web-based dependent with social media and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they're gone.
They won.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
and those social medias built their platforms off of the instant messengers.
Yep. Yeah, well, and the fact that Facebook added a messenger, I mean, it became important.
Yeah,
because and again, I mean, it's universal. You always, and you're 1,000% right. So great point. Thanks for bringing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I became a teenager at the dawn of the internet age, being a typical service in the home.
Doctor, you're the boy wonder. You were 6 months old and you were still in the baby carriage when you were writing your first scripts and
no, he was looking at his parents and like, come on, take your first steps. Take your first steps.
Like 13 years old,
what
but
is my motivation?
Oh
yeah, I was not an actor.
It's my age.
No, but you still need to know why you would have to take that step.
Why should I walk over there?
Exactly.
The doctor's like the Doogie Howser. Yeah, 70 years.
Is there going to be a payoff?
Yeah.
What's my theme?
Payoff, Mommy? Where?
Professor Gray says this conversation is why I love Plex. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about these Plex
servers.
Yeah, but then again, I also spend hundreds of dollars on shelves for my movies. So anyway, Nikki D.
Yes, but here the love, the greatest joy is having a shelf full of movies, and you can go over to your server and watch it digitally without getting off the couch.
This is a hell of a week for movies. You have no idea how many movies I got in the mail. Like Suicide Squad was like a surprise because I had no idea it was coming out. I was like, oh yeah, cool. There's a couple other stuff too. Like I finally got Scream, which was supposed to be out last week, and some other shit. But Nikki D says, has the IATSE labor negotiations been resolved? Actually, Mikey sent me a story on that earlier. The story, I haven't read it through it, but just from the headline,
essentially tentatively.
I was gonna say it sounds like they're in the same fucking place they were before, and I imagine now after this whole thing that just happened on Friday or Thursday afternoon with Mr. Baldwin. I'm assuming after that whole situation, that's not going to help these negotiations at all, or at least if it does anything, it's going to either cause more division or maybe the other side will be more apt to give in and just get this over with. What do you think, Scripps, since you're kind of on the purview of it, or however you want to call it?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to ponder on that. I don't think I have an answer right now.
Oh well,
I think
yeah.
that the fact that they've gone this far and they sent out an offer to be signed, that means that if they come back with additional things they want changed, they're going to have a hard time changing what they already have down on paper, but adding additional things is going to be easier.
Well, here's the thing with IATSE right now. So the two parties have come to an agreement of sorts, and now it's basically up to the members to agree to that agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the best answer I can provide at this moment right now. There's definitely a lot of talk I've been hearing with regards to the recent New Mexico incident that is being brought up again, with regards to basically
Safety.
not really with safety, because again, there's people arguing that this wasn't proper IATSE. So, and if it was, there wouldn't be an issue.
That's what I'm saying. They'll use it
I
as
think the way that ball bounced, there shouldn't have been an issue. Moving on.
Well, I mean,
It's everybody's first day, apparently. Moving on.
This article and that came out at 3:00 this afternoon Central Time.
Right.
So I mean, basically the tenets of this. God, I don't know why I'm stuttering, but basically they're trying to show improvement based upon the October 16th tentative deal, which went over like a rock.
Yeah.
And today's agreement is designed to show, hey, we've actually made further progress to make the deal that we made on October 16th even better than how we had it before. I.e., they're trying to avoid a strike.
It's good. Look, I still am leaning towards you're going to get a work stoppage, and I'm doing
Exactly,
that because they still haven't reached out on the. They say we've made improvements on the court. You know what? Let's read it.
Yeah, let's read, because I think they've made improvements on labor time and increase in pay, right?
Yeah, Culture, go ahead and knock it out. It's not that long. It's one page.
Before we grab that, though, I just want to say thank you to Troy Pacelli for the
Thanks,
sticker.
Troy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it was a... I don't even know.
Pooper sticker.
Scroll.
Pooper sticker.
Hey, thanks for the pooper sticker. We got a pooper sticker, and we're ready to go with this article because, yeah, this is my point I was saying before, was basically like, and hello, Elaine of Nerd Cookies. How you doing? Was basically that it's the same fucking headlines we saw before.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure much has changed, but read it.
We'll read it. The contract covers 20,000 workers in the areas outside of New York and Los Angeles production hubs who earlier this month voted to authorize a potential strike if contract talks didn't approve. Yes. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE, and studios have agreed to a new tentative 3-year theatrical and television motion picture area standards agreement deal following the October 16th tentative agreement reached for workers covered under the union's basic agreement that averted a major strike. The deal would need to be ratified by IATSE members. See, this is the same story. Before going into effect, generally covers 20,000 members working outside New York and Los Angeles areas. The union and the Alliance of Motion Picture Television Producers, AMPTP, which represents film and television studios and streamers in collective bargaining with industry guilds, confirmed the news Tuesday. You confirmed that you already had an agreement way back when.
They write their articles backwards. You're supposed to hit the new shit up front.
That's where background, exactly. The new stuff comes up here.
10 years of old shit.
Here we go.
To the last sentence of the new.
Yeah. Amid stalled the contract talks, IATSE members covered under the Area Standards Agreement voted early in October to authorize a strike. Should IATSE International President Matt Loeb decide to call one, IATSE announced that the threatened strike had been averted when it reached its October 16 basic agreement deal covering 13 West Coast locals and around 40,000 members with Area Standards Agreement negotiations still going on. According to the union, okay, so I see what they're doing. They're breaking it up. Anyway, okay. According to the union, key gains in the tentative Area Standards Agreement, like those in the basic agreement, include low-wage IATSE members seeing a boost of up to 60% in hourly minimum wages. That's over the course of 3 years, boneheads. Members receiving a minimum of 9% scale wage increase by the end of the 3-year contract. There you go. Changes to rest periods and meal breaks and improved compensation from streaming services. No more specifics were provided by press time. This is the problem. Loeb's going to get his butt out of there, I think. We were able to achieve gains in all of our core areas, Loeb said in a statement. Quality of life issues were at the top of our priority list. terms were negotiated in this agreement, and the agreement reached earlier established a defined weekend with the studios for the first time. The two agreements incorporate stiff penalties for failing to provide meals and breaks. Taken together, the improvements were made at the bargaining table were very significant and directly due to the solidarity of our members. Within the next few weeks, members should be receiving a memorandum of agreement that will fill them in on the fine print. This is exactly the same story. Anyway, sorry. I'm mad because this is not a
I'm
lot
going
of
to rewind about 5 minutes where I said there's absolutely fucking nothing really new here. Anyway, thank you, Elaine, for becoming a new member. We appreciate that.
Minimum effort puppy.
And there you go, kids. The favorite. Maybe I should have made the minimum effort puppy the highest one.
They should have.
The minimum maximum effort puppy.
Where's
I'm
the
going to
clip?
give her a lazy puppy while I'm looking for the minimum effort
All
puppy.
right. Very good.
We like the lazy puppy too. He's cute. And of course, there's the minimum effort puppy. Thank you so much, Elaine, for becoming a member. We appreciate that, of course. So anyway, continued culture. Thank you.
What do you want me to continue? This is the same damn thing I read.
Well,
2
whatever,
weeks
if
ago.
you want to.
right.
Was there anything new in there at all?
Other than a confirmation that the rest of the members have to now vote to agree to the deal or not, pretty much.
Which is where we were last time.
Yeah.
And we knew it was going to be 3 weeks from the 16th. I mean, we knew it was going to be the end of October. Oh my God. Gonna blow.
Yeah, and I think they were putting a lot of those. Go ahead. Sorry, Mike.
The point of the matter is, by this doing a release in the Hollywood Reporter, to me, it's like PR. It's like they're trying to this is straight up. Well, it's one thing to your comment about whether or not there's any major progress is definitely one, and your comment about a work stoppage and a strike coming, I completely agree with. I think it's hilarious that they're trying to create this new press release and be excited about something. It's like, oh my God, it's a triumph.
And here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to give you some background here real quick, and I think Script probably already knows what I'm going to say. The only local that got behind this agreement right away were the cinematographers.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
Now after what just happened on Rust, how much support do you think they have now?
Well, I mean, they're definitely going to be wanting more. The thing is that what IATSE is asking for is not anything that would have caused an issue with regards to what happened on Rust. So it's just reinforcing this stuff that's already there, so that those things cannot happen ever, so to speak. I mean, granted, there's always going to be a freak accident that can never be avoided, but I mean, the best idea is that everyone follows the protocols that are put in place to maintain the safety on set. And in this case here, we're starting to learn now that shortcuts were made. And even though there are even people who are union members who are incompetent, and maybe there is something to do with regards that it's the union's responsibility to correct those bad behaviors or weed them out because of them being a liability for a production. Which is actually something IATSE does really well. Like, you have to pass a whole lot of tests and a whole lot of obstacles in order to get your union membership, maintain it, and exercise it. So it seems like maybe they were suffering on that. So IATSE is going to have to do some internal reviews as well for anyone that was a member while on the set. Because again, first ADs are part of IATSE. So like there's some issues there that's going to be have to be contended with.
Yeah, and the locals all, I mean, the locals negotiate their contracts. They're the biggest group of locals was this particular contract. The animators come up at the end of this month. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple more that come up here in the next few months. I think you could get a dead stop in the industry.
I think on Halloween's going to be the last working day.
Man, that's amazing to me.
Oh God, that would be perfect.
I just suspect. I don't quote me on it yet or anything of that nature. I just suspect that Halloween's going to be the last working day. It's going to be, I think November might be 50% of a write-off, pretty much, if that's the case. And I think that's going to help, your animators, because they're going to have more leverage.
And they're really the only ones that can continue to work in the from home. I mean, a lot of them are largely working. They are not even going into like Burbank or anywhere to do stuff right now. I mean,
they don't really have to. And the other
don't
part
have
too is if the animators get their stuff going on, then some of the larger post-production compositing houses and digital houses and things of that nature might be able to
they still
negotiate better in the future as well, which would be great because those guys are really useful and they should not be working in the conditions that they're working.
Oh, they're way
deserve better.
overworked. Yeah, they're way overworked. Oh my god. Yeah.
And they're not doing easy work either. I could see if they were pushing pencils behind a desk. These guys
they're
are
definitely
out
at a
there
desk,
lifting,
but the thing is,
carrying, doing stuff. Man.
Hey,
getting tired.
Jesse, it can be hard work pushing a pencil behind a desk, buddy.
So
it's mental work too, and on top of that.
basically,
and accidents always happen with nail guns.
well, to put a bow on this, I'm just going to say this article was nothing.
Yes.
No, my question is,
It's in the mail, the end.
I was just say, how would this affect anything that comes in the future, including, for example, the news of the day of Dune 2 and 3? How would IATSE, the changes affect how they work it? Would it change the time schedule for the movie being 2 years to being more?
No,
if the strike goes on beyond this new year, yeah, it would. If it goes for more than like 2 months, yes, it will push a lot of things back.
Yeah, but that's if there is a strike. But as far as if they get some of the stuff in this deal, or if they get the things that they asked for, which they were not big asks, guys.
No, these are like the most easily to accommodate asks I've ever seen in a union contract.
It seems like they're playing ball back and forth for the time being.
But I'm telling you, there's somebody's going to stop dribbling, and I think Script could be right. It could be the 31st. Man, that's going to be a mess.
Now, do they have holidays? Have they even asked for holidays yet?
There's only holidays if the production schedule books them as holidays.
Yes.
Right. And no, like you're right. Like, and this is a case where I can see them clearly going, you know what? Fuck this. We're going on strike.
Yeah,
as I said, this would just cripple the industry.
Holidays.
Well, it would just cripple the industry. This is not like, like we've seen before with the writers and act, like that kind of stuff where, that puts some things back, but this would be even worse in a lot of ways. V'ger NYC says, "You'll be touch me steepler." I hit an updates with the window, and there were squirrels outside, and they were married.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to burn the place down.
I can poison.
I swear to God.
Put strychnine, and nobody know.
It's true.
Definitely too much salt. Too much salt.
Yes, too much salt. I told him I will burn this whole reservation down.
It's so good. So good.
Nobody knew it was me.
So Milton is
So yeah, that was
a glitch. Yes.
You ready for the next disaster zone?
Yeah.
I went to the disaster zone.
All right, here he comes. Fresh hell. Here it is. Fresh hell.
Oh Lord, I had to speak.
Yes, and Mike's comment to me was, "This is actually happening."
I thought this was one of those woke ass announcements of something that might happen, could happen, but should not happen and would not happen. Like, who asked for this and who thinks this is a good idea?
But I think that if anybody can do it, he can actually play Val-Zod. You know what I mean? I mean, anyway, it is what it is. But Michael, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, let's be thankful it's not Kal-El as they wanted it.
No, you're right, but let's be real. Like, Mike is right. Like, this is like sobering up in the middle of drunk sex with the wrong person.
Jesus, that analogy.
Wow.
Are you trying to make like a Christian illusion or something there?
I don't know. It could be. But like, you're just like, oh shit, how did I get myself into this fucking mess? I got to get her out of here in the morning. Oh man.
Whose place am I at? Like, yeah.
How do I get out of here?
We have a phrase in Spanish. Esta no es mi casa.
I just want to remind you
ugly motherfucker.
that this is the best version of this they could offer, because guess what's also coming down the pipeline?
Phrasing, motherfucker. Phrase.
The J.J. Abrams version
Because
of
I'm sure that one will be gay Superman.
Yeah.
Kal-El from
Gay
Tommy
black Superman.
Ta-Nehisi, I really should probably figure out how to grift more fur coats. I hate that guy.
No, he has not been announced to be gay, but just wait.
Well, it's coming.
Oh, get ready for that.
Did you hear that? See? Did you hear that? It was an entendre. It was a double entendre. Anyway, all right. Michael B. Jordan's Val-Zod superhero project lands. Darnell Metier and Josh Peters.
I got it coming out.
He does.
Took me 2 minutes. No,
like an hour and a half. And Josh Peters to adapt for HBO Max. Okay, here we go. Exclusive. Now, we already heard about this shit. How is it exclusive? Anyway, Darnell Metier and Josh Peters are set to write Val-Zod, the HBO Max adaptation that Michael B. Jordan's Outlier Society is producing for DC Entertainment and Warner Brothers Television. Val-Zod is the story of another Kryptonian with powers who hails from the same doomed planet as Superman. The hero is black and he finds refuge on Earth 2. Like the original Man of Steel, he is sheltered on his adopted planet, but eventually in the comics is pitted against a brainwashed Superman. Metier and Peters are prolific television and feature writers who broke onto the scene with their original pilot, American Snow. Their project, The NOLA, sold to Amazon with Sam Raimi directing. Their 1-hour pilot, Hannibal, based on the life of
The Carthaginian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carthaginian.
Wow, thank
That's
you.
false advertising. Who in the fucking world is going to think of that guy when they see the word Hannibal?
Yes, General Hannibal. They scripted for Scott Free. Oh, and that's terrible. And Endeavor Content. Ample preemptively bought it with the Creed 2 helmer Stephen J. Capel Jr. That's a rough name. Attached to direct. They recently worked on Transformers Rise of the Beast for Paramount Pictures, set for release June 24, 2022. They've got an unexpected take on the iconic Earth 2 character's origin story.
It's going to be predictable, meaning.
Yes. There has been clamor and speculation for Jordan to play the Man of Steel, but it is unclear whether he might star in this one. At this point, he will be executive producer along with Elizabeth Raposo for Outlier Society. Jordan would certainly fill out the spandex admirably. Stefano Augusto, SVP Television for Outlier Society, will oversee the project. Val-Zod joins the growing Outlier Society TV slate that spans big budget IP driven material as well as prestige tastemaker fare. For those include the TV project Victories Greater Than Death and The Greatest, both at Amazon Studios where Outlier Society has its overall deal. Film projects on Outlier Society upcoming slate include Amazon Studios' adaptation of Akwake MZ novel.
We're talking about Superman here.
You made a fool of death with your beauty. The DC Comics live adaptation of Static Shock, which is being scripted by Randy McKinnon, and Reginald Hudlin also producing alongside Outlier.
Yo, whoever wrote this article is way too cheap to buy ad space.
There is also, well, you have to remember, this is a trade paper. It's all advertisement. There is also the Broken Earth trilogy for Sony / TriStar and Thomas Crown Affair, which Wes Took is scripting for MGM. We already had this film. It was awesome. Don't F it up.
We've already had that film twice,
Oh, I know, but we had a very good version of it in not that long ago with an amazing sex scene. I just want to say, Jordan will next be seen starring in the Denzel Washington directed A Journal for Jordan, and he is in pre-production on Creed 3 for MGM, which Jordan will direct, as well as return in the role of Adonis Creed. And I don't care who represents him. That was a lot.
He's directing as well.
Wow.
Hey, maybe Sly's giving him a hand.
Sly backed out.
Actually,
Sly
Sly's
does.
not going to be in it, actually.
Yeah, and he
You
backed
don't
out of the project.
need to be in it to call a motherfucker on the phone.
But there was rumor of some other Rocky-related project. That's why I think there's going to be a spin-off with him and Drago in it. I bet.
Well,
I do
I
like
don't
the
mean to be
idea of
the
Denzel directing, though.
Tom. I don't mean to be the complete minority a-hole here, but I don't remember any black folk on Krypton as a youth in the comic books. But that being said, if we're gonna, if he's gonna be I think we need a Mexican leaves Krypton, comes to the United States and fights and tries to become like Taco L or something, like Taco L.
Taco L.
Yeah, Taco L. Like I'm like the lost I'll be the lost Mexican cousin.
Well, Mikey, you got to remember that Superman is from the Hamptons.
That's to say, Mike. No, it shouldn't be Taco L. It should be just El Taco. That's it.
El Taco. Yeah.
El Taco.
There you go.
And I brought you to this planet so you could save the people.
Yeah, you really do have to do the Brando tell stories.
I think you should be Taco.
You brought me to the planet Earth so that I can feed the people. I'm feeding the people.
Can I get a taco? How about 3?
Well, here's the thing. So Krypton is not a homogenized species. They have diverse looking people, but yeah, it's what it is. What it is. I would have rather have seen like Michael B. Jordan play like Icon.
Well, there you go.
I get granted he's too. I mean, he's a short guy.
He
lies about his height, but yeah, he
tacos
can
and
do
a soda for $3.99.
Exactly.
It's the only place you get a Baja Blast.
Oh God! Can we also talk about the fact that this guy is also related with a project for Amazon that's Static Shock, another African American character that's like beloved by most people because of the TV show from the 2000s. It's like, why are you doing this? Do not touch Static Shock. Static Shock is sacred. Oh God.
What is he gonna do? Play Static Shock's dad or something? Because he's way too old to play Static Shock.
No, his company is doing in the moment.
His company's just doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I'm worried about it either way because it's like Static Shock is a very unique character. You gotta understand it. If you don't understand it and you try to put some kind of generic narrative to his personality, his background, and everything, is gonna play out really badly.
Yeah, because he's a teenager. He hits on Rocket a few times.
And also the fact he's a major nerd for heroes. The only one who beats him is Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle. That's it. But but that's the thing. Yeah. If you don't understand him and you just try to make a story about, the kid coming from a poor neighborhood, he's an African American, he's trying to get out, he gets the powers because of the accent, as well as all his typical villains from his side of the comics. Mm-hmm. If they do it and they just do it like that, and they don't respect the essence of him, he's a hardworking kid, but he's not. He's more like middle class, first thing, and secondly, he's a super nerd of superheroes. So when he meets Batman, he geeks out for like 30 minutes.
Well, all I know is this came about only because Michael B. Jordan, they wanted him to do the other one, and he's like, "Nah, I'll do this one though." And this is probably only happening just to keep his company under graces with Warner Brothers,
and to keep him from saying bad things. Because again, this isn't even making it to the big screen; it's going to HBO Max. So they are giving him like, okay, you want to do our big film production? We're going to give you this craptastic offer for HBO Max. Right. Enjoy.
Max.
I'm sure he's going to get a very good budget for this film.
It's TV show or whatever. Yeah.
Look, you're going to be Blackgate Superman. You're going to like it, okay? Otherwise, no more sugar from the tap. You understand me, Michael Jordan?
Is it going to be a movie or a show? I can't remember now.
I don't know.
I think it's a movie.
I think it's going to be a movie. Max. I'd be surprised if they did a show because that's
they'll probably do a crossover universe because they announced the Blue Beetle and all that other stuff too. I bet you're right, Diego.
Yeah, Blue Beetle better be interesting because if it's not, that's a waste.
It's well casted at least.
Yeah, so far from what we've seen, because we reacted to the director and also the screenwriter talking, they understand the whole nucleus, the Latino family. That family is important. The family is like the center of our universe. So when they talked about that and the fact saying, "Good luck trying to keep a secret from family," having that joke.
What I like about Blue Beetle is that he basically is some kid who gets some alien tech that's kind of sentient. I wouldn't trust it as far as I could throw it.
No, he can't. It's bound to his spine. He can't get rid of it.
Yeah, but would you still trust it? It's got its own AI.
It develops a friendship with him because his AI sort of adopts part of his personality to understand the universe and sort of makes his own personality and its own existence.
And I think it's independent of
friend.
and it's also independent of the species that built it as well. Like it's
Yeah, it got damaged.
Yeah,
it got damaged, so it got like cut off, and that's how it evolves.
So the control factor is removed.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not so much of a control factor. It's definitely symbiotic in nature, but it's like Jaime has a little bit more control over it. But if Jaime's ever in danger and he can't figure a way out, the beetle itself will take over.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's the whole thing that always scared me, is that is he truly independent? Because let's say he was fighting the people who made his own armor, then I'm sure
he has actually in the story, and he defeats them.
Yep.
Yeah, but they couldn't find any way to take control of his armor again.
Oh, they tried. They do, but the thing is, like, it's the scarab itself has its own kind of will, even if it is artificial. There's a whole lot of aspects with the blue beetle itself. But like, for instance, in the events where like Jaime Reyes would be like knocked unconscious, the scarab would just eject his, like, leave, like take and fly him somewhere else so that he can be safe and revive him or something.
That's crucial right there.
And also, I have two problems with Jaime being Latino or Hispanic or whatever, and being the beetle and having that little robot outfit or whatever the hell it is. First of all, it should have a tortilla warmer somewhere and a leaf blower.
It can actually fabricate that.
Yes.
Well, I need to see that in order for me to buy in that Hispanic superhero, because any Hispanic superhero would have an automatic leaf blower. In my opinion.
That would be actually hysterical if his dad tells him to go clean up the front yard and he just uses the scarab as like a leaf blower hand.
Exactly.
I think they actually did that in the comic.
The mulcher. Use the mulcher.
But I mean, I think they actually did in the comic. They actually have a bit fun with the whole culture and that sense.
But it'd be funny if the dad walks in and is like, I heard a leaf blower. We don't own a leaf blower. and he's there with just a rake. He's like, I don't know, man.
I want to get these super chats before I lose them here. Max Santiago says $2. Thank you so much. Diminishing Kal-El with each new version. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Diminishing returns.
Definitely. We're getting that problem for sure. And then Nikki D, thank you so much, says gay black Kal-El facing his two worst enemies yet. Racism and homophobia in the 1950s Birmingham, Alabama, produced by Bad Robot Productions. You're probably not wrong. No, you probably pretty close. Let's see. I know we had at least one more here, I believe. Yes, we do. Brand new, just popped in. Thank you so much, Daryl Brewer, for the $5 super chat. Says, will they get Idris to play his Kryptonian daddy? And will it have Super Rabbit? Yes and no.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And again, Jordan is probably not even going to be in it, so it'll be somebody else anyway.
We ain't even seen the Super Dog yet.
Nah. I'm looking probably a little bit more forward to this than I am the Bad Robot one. This has no connection with that one, so.
I mean, it has more potential of being more respectful as far as, because of what Jordan said, like saying, I don't want to play, a Black Kal-El. I want to do, Val-Zod at least. So he has some understanding. So maybe we get something good.
Yeah, but where's the money coming from?
Yeah, but consider this: will you want to be the head honcho of a studio who also happens to be white and male? Say that to the African American. That's the problem. They're going to say him yes to everything most likely. So he might have more control than what we think.
This is like playing Magic. It's just like, I will trump your money card with my race card. Now I got to turn it and wait.
You got to turn that into a game.
Actually, there was a guy doing it.
I actually have a jester's. I actually have a jester's cap that solves all of my problems. So you guys just relax.
Does it give you presents on Christmas? You just think of it and it appears.
Nah, it's a very old school Magic card, my friend.
Oh, see, I don't even know that.
All I wonder is if they put this movie on HBO Max and they also put Blue Beetle's in HBO Max. Imagine if Blue Beetle blows this one out of the water. Like people are more attuned and more liking that one than this. Or what would be the effect on the decision making?
Nothing. They'd just be like, okay, we got a hit with Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving
Hey,
on.
just so you know, the actual Cowboy Bebop trailer dropped today too.
I saw it.
I didn't.
It is not a good reaction.
No,
That's
it's
why
not.
it's not. I saw it. They try to make it, more like this, like the series, but it doesn't feel right, especially after the clip they put in their channel and
Well, that clip
where
was
it
kind of
breaks
neat.
it.
But wait, that clip was kind of neat. There was a lot of aesthetic there. I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, the Jester's cap. Yeah, it's a magic card. Anyway, I really did enjoy the item. We talked about this, the anime, but I thought the aesthetic was there in that clip. That's not going to be anywhere in the show. I thought they did a nice job with it. The panels moving and everything else, and up and down and all of that. And Spike facing his nemesis and all of that. I thought it was really nice. And then of course now with the new trailer, I've now lost. It's like this. I'm in this weird place with Cowboy Bebop. It's like, oh, that was almost that looks close, and then I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's where I've been the whole time with this thing.
Like the problem with this is what we said also when we reacted to the trailer. The problem is, imagine an aesthetic, right, of more film noir aesthetic, but more like dark, grungy, right, more realistic in that sense. Then what they did is they put it into a saturation filter and they try to clean it up so much that the sky is yellow, like coffee yellow, coffee stain yellow, kinds of that. It's not that kind of feeling, Cowboy Bebop. It's something different. It's like it's disconnected because they don't understand
layering.
Exactly, and that's the problem. It's very disconnected, and even the creator came out publicly saying they're not listening to my ideas. When you hear that, you're not hopeful. You're not really wanting to see it.
Not by his job title. No, that does not make me optimistic.
Exactly.
Oh wait, the White Portuguese says Superman and Lois crickets.
Yeah, that's deliberate.
Okay,
It's an okay show. It's not great.
But
and it had a very, very peculiar ending of that first season.
Sure, it sucked, but Terry Hatcher was hot.
No, that's Lois and Clark. That's different.
Yeah,
same shit.
First season of Lois and Clark is amazing.
Yep.
Subsequent seasons, not so much, but that first season is great.
The one scene of that show I honestly do remember was when he first got his apartment and he painted and redid the whole thing in like 30 minutes.
No, they're talking about the new CW. Well,
Superman and Lois, I
know.
CW
just
one.
like the whole idea of the romantic comedy with those two is just so had. Like if they name a show with both of their names in it, I just can't watch.
Well, now it's a family drama.
Yeah.
That's
Superman and Lois is a family drama. Lois and Clark, basically, Deborah Joy Levine, she was assigned the show. She didn't get much of a choice on this one, and she said, "Listen, I'm not suited to writing action adventure Superman stuff." And CBS pretty much said, "Well, that's okay. This is what the budget is." She's like, "Holy crap, I can't do much of anything with this." But she said, "One thing I can do is relationships. So what if I did the approach as a romantic comedy?" And they said, go for it. And then all she did was she just talked to as many people who had written Superman before she could and came up with a way to reconcile it. And she made it basically about Clark, just trying to be
the struggle of having a relationship. Yeah.
Trying to be Superman, trying to have a normal life, and then falling in love with Lois Lane, and then Lois Lane kind of falling in love with him. And you got Eddie Jones and Kay Callan as Jonathan and Martha Kent, which really made the show sing because these veteran actors just built everything up. And then you got Lane Smith as Perry White, who did fantastic. Jonathan Shea as Lex Luthor, who stole every scene he was in. So, yeah. And then they gave Clark Kent some of the best lines he's ever been given in live action media. But, Dean Cain was still learning to act at that
Superman
point.
stuff, though?
They did do some pretty good Superman stuff for what they had. They did not have a whole lot of money. So,
because if you're going to do it just about the relationship with them, to handle it from Lois and just have them fly out the window. Now you don't know what's going on. Handle that.
Nah, because it's part of the whole idea.
It's Clark's story.
The show's already going to be gay. It's not a Superman show anymore. We've already established that. Just make it about her fucking emotional journey through this.
That's in current day, not in 92 when they did that one, or 93. The joke was that Lois was the first name in the title, but the show was all about Clark. And
but back in the day, that was just because she was hot, and that was it.
But she's also really good at the role too. Like she's a very solid and definitive Lois Lane.
What were you gonna say, Diego?
No, I was just gonna say, but we gotta give at least credit on one thing that the new show has done. We don't have a Superman who's a deadbeat dad.
He's not deadbeat, but he is bad at the beginning of that season.
Who
But I mean, it's more understandable because he's still trying to be, he's trying to save the world. He's trying to have a family. He's trying to have also be Clark Kent. It's like he has to wear many hats at the same time. So it's understandable. He's not going to be 100% perfect, right?
We're not talking about perfect. We're just talking about the silly things that he let slide was not believable, because you're talking about Superman, who he doesn't make a decision unless he can give it his all. And for him to be like kind of an absent father, and also to play the role of Clark Kent as the bumbling Clark Kent at home as well, that just doesn't make sense. Like I can believe that he wouldn't tell them, his kids, right away that he's Superman for obvious reasons, but he wouldn't be the type of guy who, as they described in the show, stumbled and fell off the ladder while putting up the Christmas tree or something of that nature. It just doesn't hold true, because now you're a male role model to your children. You cannot behave that way and expect to have good kids as a result of it, right? There's certain things that go hand in hand with that responsibility, and I think it's written by some people who either had terrible parents or are not very good parents themselves, which is why it took about 6 episodes for them to kind of abandon all those ideas and then get into the story where, that one kid who is diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder doesn't have it anymore for some reason, because he's got superpowers, which is a terrible approach to discussing that topic when you introduce it as a character trait for someone. So yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with that show, but I mean, again, it's the less bitter tasting piece of crap compared to the rest of the CW. So
How did he get pregnant? I still want to know this.
How did she get pregnant? She got pregnant in Argo City, which was floating through space. Yeah, it has a Kryptonian atmosphere. Yeah.
How did he not shoot through her like a shotgun?
Because she's in Argo City,
and it's
what?
And he doesn't have his powers.
No,
he doesn't have his powers in Argo City. It's a Kryptonian environment.
What's Culture saying?
No, that's what I was saying. Is what Script said. So yeah. No. And the other thing I was going to say is, it's the only show on the CW that has incredible ratings.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's above 1 million every episode, right?
You know what would have very incredible ratings?
What?
Marlon Brando reads
Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
I am Sam. I am Sam. Sam I am. That's Sam I am. That's Sam. Who's this fucking Sam guy, and why is he bugging me? What? We know you're Sam. We don't need to keep hearing it. I need a sandwich.
Look, I just, all I know is that they had to invent new ratings for all the CW shows because they are so bad and nobody watches them.
I can't read this. I can't do this.
I think
not only that, they sell them for more than they're worth on various other affiliates and overseas. So,
which is insane, because I don't believe one human being watches any of these shows, let alone 300,000 people. I can't believe 300,000 people watch the damn show when it premieres. I'm like,
oh, Batwoman. I think that's all Az's followers.
It is. It's Az is watching it. Az is carrying it.
I was going to say it's Az and it's the long man Mahler when they talk about it, because when they talk about it, people see that and they're like, oh God, I got to see this train wreck.
Well, and my man Etep, who's been suffering every moment of it, and Keely Chow, who hangs out in our chats all the time. Yeah. There are certain people that punish themselves to deliver just the sterling content you get from not the show.
No, I'm on a Batwoman sabbatical, but that's going to end pretty soon. So,
oh God, I mean, I still have to finish watching the He-Man Revelations thing, because I started watching it, and at one point I was like, on episode 4, I was like, nope, that's enough for me.
You guys don't have to watch any of that shit. It's all garbage.
That's true.
The question mark, maybe not for you.
Diego, I bowed out at episode 4 too, and then Andre brought me back to finish episode 5 live on the air with like 1,600 people watching. It could be worse.
Mike, there's something that needs to happen, and we've been talking about it for over 2 months now. Polly and I are supposed to be suffering the great Picard show.
Oh my God. And I said that I couldn't do it because of tax season, and now tax season is over and I have all the time to help produce this. And since Paulie at Latino Slant, since I help produce his shows. Oh my God, I'm going to get Paulie booked and we're immediately going to start this. Culture, your commitment to Midnight's Edge is outstanding. And we're going to show this. Imagine in the chat the excitement of Culture Casino and Latino Slant, the great Paulie, watching Picard seasons 1 and 2.
And not only that, I will bring one of my Star Trek uniforms to wear for the show.
God.
This is going to be
Image.
glorious. I can't wait to tell Andre that we're back on deck for this.
Is everybody going to ignore that he just said one of, meaning he has more than one of the things?
This is why I said, "Oh God."
Wait, what? What do you mean one of what?
He's got more than one fucking Star Trek uniform.
You do?
Now are we talking different ranks and colors, or are we talking different
ranks
series?
and colors? Yeah, absolutely.
Give us. Okay,
You
wait,
didn't
hold
even
on.
give us a
Which
straight
series-
fucking answer.
Okay, wait. Go give us the inventory of what you
Motherfucker's
own.
got a wardrobe of fucking Star Trek shit in his
Wait,
house.
I have a
Okay,
red shirt.
original series. What do you own? Original series. What do you own?
Oh, just yellow. Just.
So you have a
That's the
yellow
Command
original
Gold, eh?
series.
Yeah, Command Gold.
What-
Yeah.
Do you have the dress version as we saw it in Next Generation?
No, he's not a fruitcake.
No,
No.
we're not there yet. Next generation. Which outfit do you have? Next
red
generation.
and blue science officer. Yeah.
Okay, but okay. What do you have from the movies? Do you have the red naval with the breast with the jacket?
The petticoat one?
The petticoat.
Not that I could easily get to.
With the fluffy, the
Oh
pad.
God, he owns it.
Okay. Culture. If you ever want to get suit proper well-made costumes, right? Come to Peru. We have a place that they sell all the fabrics you need, and you can get somebody. You show them pictures, they can do it like to the T, and it's cheaper.
I'm coming. I will be there in 25 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not wearing
Shit.
pants.
I'll be there soon.
I'll
I
be
don't think you realize.
Marlon,
I need
put on some pants.
No,
Yeah,
they don't have pants in the future. How do you know they got pants in the future?
I need every iteration of a Battlestar costume as well. So I'm gonna
Original
commit.
series or new series?
Yes.
If I was
Oh,
boss of the future, I'd make sure there was like an invention that made sure you never had to wear pants.
Can we at least put a towel over you?
No.
no. Oh my
Can
god.
Mr. Brando, if we give you hot
my
wings,
balls.
What's strange is that I've had conversations like this with other actors before.
And I guarantee
God.
there's been a conversation like this with Marlon.
I was gonna say, Mr. Brando, can we offer you hot wings in exchange you wear a
What's
towel at
funny
least?
is it would have been Frank Oz. So you had basically Fozzie Bear arguing with Marlon.
With Marlon Brando.
Why do I have
Could
to
you
wear
please
pants?
put on some pants?
No.
Come
Just
on.
do that as a sketch, man. Like
I'm
you can
wearing a
get
tie at least. Come on.
get the images. Just
I'm a bear.
put them on either side, and make it look like it's like that Tom Cruise on the set video where you just get a still and then just do the voices back and forth, man. Throw it on Mead.
Yeah. Did you guys know that? Like Jesse, I don't know if you knew that. On The Score, you ever see that movie? One of Brando's last.
Oh, I don't remember now.
He refused to wear pants.
Wow.
And Frank Oz was the director.
Oh
So there's
my.
only like 2 shots of him in the whole movie that are like not waist up because he only wore pants in like a couple shots. For
Yeah,
him.
there's like
Did
one
this
wide
have-
shot where the swimming pool, and that's about it.
Now, was he wearing boxers or was his dick just hanging?
Lord only fucking know.
We have no clue.
We have to
Like, I
ask
just
Mr.
want to see
Oz.
what I could get away with.
You know the best part about having a gut like this? You could be naked from the waist down. Nobody knows.
He's like, look, can you see my leg?
I don't know if your ass will be covered.
No.
Oh God.
Well, all right, everybody on set. We cannot shoot from Brando from behind.
Ever.
Make sure he doesn't turn around. Dangle the donuts towards the lens, not away.
Where did they tape my lines?
We didn't
Here, Mr.
order
Brando,
Alfred
right here,
Hitchcock.
next to the hot wings.
Okay.
It stinks.
Oh shit! All right, kids. I think with that we're gonna wrap it up. It's 9 o'clock where I'm at. We got
Well,
Geeks and Gamers going live here in just a minute or two. Go ahead and tell
yeah,
them
go
we
over and give him the
sent
Tuesday
ya.
love.
Yeah, so there's the link. Otherwise, wherever you head to, tell them we sent you and spread the love. I want to thank everybody for helping me out tonight. Mike, you did an amazing job putting the show together for me. I appreciate that. Hell of a producer as always. Check out Jesse over at the Crow's Nest. Diego, you can find him on Midnight's Edge Espanol. Do you have anything else going on besides that, Diego?
Just reminding people, streams are no longer on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're just on Tuesdays, and we're now having 2 streams on Monday and Thursday.
Okay. I had no idea about all that stuff, but okie dokie.
And
So
after this one, I'm hopping in on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser.
All right, we'll head over there as well.
Nick.
Yeah, check out Nick Weiser.
Talking about Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
We also have Script Doctor. Check his channel out, and of course Culture Casino, who is simultaneously streaming on my channel, his channel, and probably 3 other channels we don't even know about.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, this week I will be on. So far the total will be 29 live streams this week in total.
Damn.
Yeah.
And people give me shit.
I know. I know.
No, he is everywhere. Like seriously.
I try, man. I want to love everybody. Give everybody the love. That's all I got to do.
I don't believe you.
We're gonna have to call you Culture 21.
Have you tried this? It's called crack.
I don't need that. I'm gonna try sleep again. We're gonna try that this weekend.
No. People, remember, he's like Samson. His powers come from his hair. As long as he doesn't cut it, he can do all this.
See, all this time you thought I was the YouTube, and it was really Culture Casino.
No, you're still the YouTube, but dude, you were editing your second video of the day, bro. My God.
Speaking of, I better get back to that. So with that, take care, everybody. Much love and peace.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.